I was able to stack up 9,058 points for deal as much damage as possible using a blaze grenade during a night raid on Blue Gate. Now for my equipment, I brought in an anvil and an osprey, both with 2 stacks of ammo, 4 lure grenades, 12 blaze grenades, 2 stacks of adrenaline shots, some shielding and healing items, a photoelectric cloak, which is important for this, zip lines, and a snap hook. Now, just to be clear up front, if you're not sure about how this challenge works, it is specifically the damage that you earn from using one blaze grenade. You can't use multiple blaze grenades and then expect your trials points to go up. It will only track the most amount of damage that you've earned using a single blaze grenade. Now, once I spawned in, I headed for the Overlook Airshaft in the warehouse complex. The goal was to aggro leapers to me at the Overlook Airshaft and then use my blaze grenade on them once they were stacked up. There are 3 different leaper spawns on this map. One that spawns in the warehouse complex, one that spawns in the ruined homestead, and one that spawns in the adorned wreckage. For this strategy, I'd recommend ignoring the adorned wreckage leaper because it is a little bit of a nightmare to try and kite across the map to the other leaper spawns. Once I got to the Overlook Airshaft, both of the leapers that I was looking for spawned in, and I tried to aggro them to me at the airshaft. For whatever reason, the leapers didn't really want to leap at me, and one of them got stuck in a weird spot, so I had to kind of move out from the strategy that I went in with and put myself into a little bit more of a risky position. Now, if you are having to kite a leaper out in the open, it's almost a guarantee that at some point it's going to leap on you and stun you. Once the leaper lands a leap attack on you, it will drain a huge amount of your shields and health, and then your character will be very slow to get up from that stun. In general, you can usually dodge roll out of the stun sooner than it seems like you can from the character animation of standing up. So I recommend if you do get caught in a leap to just kind of spam your sprint dodge so that you can get that sprint dodge roll as soon as it's ready and get yourself out of the blast radius of the leaper's next attack. That will absolutely knock you out. Now this is where the photoelectric cloak is going to come in handy, and thankfully it got a little bit more of a buff back to where it used to be, and it's a lot more effective now. Once you have both leapers aggroed to you, you want to try and use the photoelectric cloak to keep yourself as safe as possible while you navigate to an area of cover. You don't need much to be safe from leapers, but I do recommend putting yourself inside of something that they can't get into, as it just makes it a lot easier for you to stay safe from their leap attacks and their blast attacks. Now, once you have both of the leapers aggroed to you and you are in a safe place, what you want to do is use a lure grenade and throw it on the ground near where you are. Both of the leapers will aggro to the lure grenade, and then you want to follow it up with a blaze grenade on the ground where the lure grenade is. While you only get points for throwing a single blaze grenade down, I threw a couple of down just to give myself a higher chance of getting more damage off of one of the 2. From here, you just need to stay safe and make sure that you don't get yourself caught in any of their damage. And then if necessary, throw another lure grenade down to make sure that they stay in the place of where your blaze grenade is. Blaze grenades will melt through leapers pretty quick, so you'll only get a few chances at this, but the amount of damage that you get off of that single blaze grenade is pretty substantial and can earn you a ton of points. You can likely take this strategy even further if you're able to aggro the leapers to another larger arc enemy, like a bastion or a bombardier, but obviously the risk increases each time that you're pulling an extra enemy over to you. Once you've stacked up enough points and you're happy with your score, head back to Speranza, collect any loot if you haven't already, and watch your score fly up the leaderboard. That's going to be it for me today, y'all. Thanks for watching.